This video is going to be a bunch of newspaper articles from Vekta Daily, which, as you can guess, is based on Vekta. So it will be one-sided, most likely. So anyway, here we go. It is undeniable that Scholar Visari was, and still is, a monumental figure, and in that respect, his statue standing over 400 feet tall and weighing in excess of 230 tons was a fitting tribute to the man. But where the Colossal Visari once stood, striking his familiar salute, there now stands a one-armed, headless wreck. For Vektans, the whole thing always had a whiff of ridiculousness about it, retired Vektan ambassador Kataji Holland told the Herald. But I remember at the time when we were attempting to build bridges, it came as a serious setback. It was a real disappointment to me that the Chancellor, instead of distancing himself, chose to venerate a tyrant and a thug. The inscription upon the statue's base is said to read, "In honor of our eternal loving father, whose name shall never be erased." With that kind of blind devotion, one fears what eyesore will be built in his place. Gyre in turmoil. The factory owner is accused of criminal negligence, or acquitted today, sparking a massive wave of civil disobedience that quickly spread across several of Gyre's major cities. President Aldridge issued a statement in response. "The scenes of Helghast looting sicken me, as do the senseless attacks on our police and public property. Mark my words, these criminals will be brought to justice and punished." Box office smash. The highly anticipated summer action flick, Solar Dawn, broke all box office records as it opened to packed theaters across Vekta. The film sees heartthrob Ryan Grant reprise his role as Clifford Rex, the character he made famous in the Solar Dawn TV series. The acting is solid, and the set piece is stunning, and the first of the planned hexology Grant has promised will give fans the movie-going experience of their lives. Going out in flames. For most Vektans yesterday, it might have seemed like any other day, but for anyone with a powerful telescope, you may have well had your eyes on something else. The satellite station, ISC Cassandra, had been orbiting our planet's sun for over a decade, making observations and recording masses of data. Receiving this information and, more importantly, trying to make sense of it, was a group of scientists working at the Vale Research Institute, based outside the city. Leading this dedicated team was the renowned astrophysicist, Dr. Vekta, who spoke yesterday about the culmination of his groundbreaking project. "We know more about the sun than ever before. We're just scratching the surface in our understanding, and there's still so much to learn. This isn't the end, this is just the beginning." During its life, the unmanned vessel made a staggering 41 orbits of the sun and traveled over 500 kilometers before it completed its mission and fell into the sun. For a handful of scientists, it was the end of a long journey that had taken them deep into the history of our solar system. Government offers deal. The government had proposed sit-down talks with the Helghast Workers Union in an attempt to end the bloodshed that had already claimed several thousand lives. Many districts have become no-go zones, with Helghast setting up barricades and declaring unlawful ownership of government property. Officials are now having to admit the military units that were drafted in have done little to end the rampage that looks as set to consume the entire planet with war. Shocking revelation. Just days after celebrating the release of his latest movie, actor Ryan Grant has faced some tough questions regarding his nationality when it was alleged by an unnamed source that the star is indeed Helghast by birth. It appears moviegoers are already showing their displeasure as Solar Dawn continues to slip down the charts, with some theaters pulling the film altogether after threats of violence. Justin Bolika, leader of the Vektan independence movement, has invited Mr. Grant to prove his innocence and take a blood test live on the show. The actor has been unavailable for comment. A report issued by the Vektan Security Agency revealed the discovery of a covert Helghast military installation. The installation, situated in a formerly inactive mining spire on the planet Helgan, was apparently discovered due to anonymous energy readings during a routine sweep. Further investigation has indicated a strong increase in activity over the past few weeks, coinciding with the string of terrorist attacks in Vektan City. A VSA spokesman was unwilling to comment on the possibility of ties between the attacks and the military installation. Though details remain scarce, VSA officials did not condemn any and all hostile behavior that may endanger the Vektan people. NWork 1 has reached out to the New Helgan embassy for comment, but has not received any response as of press time. Famous geneticist dies. The Vale Research Institute has confirmed that Dr. Hilary Massar died during a freak laboratory accident yesterday. She was 30 years old. During her career, Dr. Massar achieved notoriety for her unorthodox research methods in clinical trials. The results of her work, however, were nothing short of groundbreaking. "We are all deeply saddened by the loss of Hilary," a spokesman for the VRI said in a public broadcast this morning. The head of the institute, Dr. Vekta, will personally conduct a memorial service upon his return from the ISC Radian. Flappy Owl smash hit. The latest game to hit the Talcom Similar wearable devices, Flappy Owl, has been hailed by players as one of the most addictive and frustrating ever developed. A game, which involves tapping a device's screen to propel a tactical owl combat drone through a series of petrosite conduits, has topped the Tac Store's chart of the most popular free games. The Helghast knockoff of the game, named Flappy ATAC, was removed from the Tac Store earlier this week for inciting hatred against Vekta soldiers. Tyron is toast. Black Coat Tyron, the evil architect behind the sickening attacks on Vekta City that claimed thousands of lives, was killed yesterday in a daring operation led by Vekta security forces. The president made the announcement last night and declared that justice had been swift and merciless. He also went on to praise the brave men who carried out the mission deep inside New Helghan territory, which is where Tyron's compound was located. Sources have revealed DNA testing was conducted immediately to confirm Tyron's identity, although the government has yet to confirm the whereabouts of the body. Spontaneous celebrations broke out across the country as news of Tyron's death spread. Crowds gathered in the streets, waving Vekta flags and showing support for the victims and their families. Meanwhile, as the wreckage still smolders in places around the city, rescue services continue the difficult search for survivors. One cannot help but think that weeks, months, even years from now, long after the rubble has been cleared away, the scars of this tragic event will still remain for all to see. Sad day for Gyre. The Helghast Workers' Union won a landslide victory in the Monday's elections, giving them 82 of the 108 seats in the chamber. The party's leadership is made up of high-ranking members from Scholar Versari's government, who after the Autox murder went on to protect Chancellor Versari during her time in exile on Gyre. Vekta has yet to release a statement saying whether they recognize the legitimacy of the win, and as the hours go by, a peaceful transfer of power seems ever more unlikely. Walk of Shame. Stripped of fame and glory, and without his usual entourage of PR moguls, disgraced actor Ryan Grant was forced to join the thousands of Helghast deportees, making the rightful return to New Helghan. The actor was clearly unable to hide his embarrassment, as he was jostled and jeered by his fellow countrymen. A statement was released by Mr. Grant's legal team, saying they will continue to fight for his client. But from this side of the wall, any chance of help is all but impossible. Tensions between Vekta, New Helghan rising. This weekend is seeing rising tensions on both sides of the wall, over claims that the Helghast are secretly amassing weapons of war. Though denied by the New Helghan authorities, a VSA intelligence sweep has shown abnormal readings that indicate possible military activity, but formal proof is yet to surface. Sources within the VSA intelligence community indicate that these claims are not without merit, and that the Vekta should assume them to be true. The tensions have led to an increased security measure on both sides of the wall, as well as a temporary closure of a majority of the wall's crossings. Chancellor Versari had demanded an explanation for this obvious warmongering behavior from the side of the Vektans. Talks between New Helghan and Vekta authorities, set to take place on Monday, have been cancelled by Versari. 89 killed in latest terror attacks. The death toll for this morning's cowardly attack on Templar Park has risen to 89. Health officials say another 127 have been hospitalized, with 56 in critical condition. The 89 casualties mark another tragic milestone this month, which has already seen hundreds of fatalities and over 1,000 injured as a result of Black Hand attacks on the VSA headquarters. Despite the death of Black Hand leader Vladko Tyran and persistent rumors of infighting among Black Hand members, the past month has seen a significant rise in terrorist activity. VSA officials believe the increase to be linked to support from the New Helghan military and have promised to fight fire with fire. Drone fights, latest craze. Highly illegal and extremely dangerous. The latest craze among the disaffected Vektan youth is drone fighting, a gambling activity in which captured and modified military drones are pitted against each other in makeshift combat arenas. The phenomenon is believed to have originated in New Helghan's containment city, where undocumented Helghast workers used it to pass time and settle disputes. So far, 13 youth in Vekta City have been killed in drone fight-related activities. Intercepted footage confirms covert Helghast military activity inside the mining spire. Vekta security agency operatives have decrypted a CCTV feed from the formerly dormant Helghast mining spire that began exhibiting suspicious activity last month. According to analysts, the footage clearly demonstrates that the spire is being used as an illegal military installation. In a decrypted feed, sourced from what appears to be a main spire hangar bay, a banned Helghast strike fighter bearing the Stahl Arms logo can be seen undergoing modifications in engine tests. VSA Director Thomas Sinclair refused to speculate on the intended mission of the Helghast fighter, but added that his agency is currently combing through the additional CCTV footage for clues. Asked how his agency was able to decrypt the feed, he added, "No comment." ICS Raiden goes dark. This morning, all communications was lost with the ISC Raiden, an off-planet research station for the Vale Research Institute. While there is no reason to believe that the station is in immediate peril, According to the VRA head and renowned astrophysicist, Dr. Revik, his institute has formally requested the government to send an ISA rescue vessel, just to be safe. Unlike the late ISC Cassandra, which was guided into the sun following a decade-long mission to map out the Alpha Centauri B last month, the IC Raiden is a manned station. At the time of the blackout, 56 scientists were reported to be on board. Dr. Revik could not comment on the number of support staff and migrant workers. Solar Dawn fights back. When life hands you carboxylic acids, make a saturated calcium hydroxide solution, an ancient proverb that Radiant Pictures, the Ray Hooven-based studio behind the controversial blockbuster Solar Dawn, has taken to heart. Following lead actor Ryan Grant's deportation to New Helghan, Radiant Pictures was unexpectedly granted permission by the Helghast government to release a special cut of the movie, Solar Dawn Redux, opened to packed Helghast theaters last week, and is currently on track to become Radiant Pictures' highest-grossing movie ever. Our heroes return home. Hundreds of brave soldiers return from the battle, to cheering crowds having saved Vekta from another devastating attack. It had been confirmed that Johan Stahl was alive and in hiding on planet Helghan, where he had amassed a colossal army, the sole purpose of which was to annihilate Vekta. ISA General Drummond was clear in his assessment of the battle. The combat was ferocious, but we pulled through. The fact we made the first strike was imperative to our victory. He went on to praise the brave sacrifice of his men on the battlefield, and said that Vekta will forever be indebted to these fallen warriors. Here on Vekta, despite Chancellor Visari's provocative rhetoric, the Helghast Patriot put up a fight. Vektan forces suffered more casualties as a result of friendly fire than was sustained by the enemy. The coming days will be a testing time for New Helghan's leader. She will have to face some difficult questions as to how much she actually knew about Stahl, and the extent of her involvement in the planned invasion of Vekta. The grass isn't always greener on Gyre. The Workers' Union Party is fast becoming synonymous with the tactics of brutality and repression, as reports of state violence have trebled in the past few days. At a recent rally, Vektan protesters welcomed Helghast demonstrators to join them and condemn the government, as they marched together in a show of solidarity. A leading activist said it was amazing to see both sides come together, and hoping others can learn from it. Back for good? Disgraced former star Ryan Grant has won his latest appeal, and looks to return to Vekta within the next 24 hours. The judge ruled in favor of Mr. Grant, and in his summary, said that the actor never willfully misled anyone about his Helghast paternity. As media channels scrambled to secure Grant's first interview, PR guru Tom Power has speculated that the actor could become even bigger than he was before. Hey, it's not every day you double your fanbase.